I used to believe love was supposed to feel safe. I told myself that as I watched Ariana move around our apartment, barefoot, humming, pretending everything was normal. "You're quiet," she said. "Did I do something?" "No," I said. "Just tired." She smiled. "You work too much." "Someone has to," I joked. She laughed, soft and warm, and I felt proud of how steady I was for her. 5 years together. 5 years of choosing each other. I thought that meant something permanent. "You know I appreciate you, right?" she asked. "I know," I said, because I wanted to believe it. Later that night, Ethan called. "You alive?" he asked. "Barely." "Same," he said. "How's Ariana?" "She's good." He paused. "You always say that. What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you love like it's your job," he said. "And she loves like it's a mood." "That's unfair." "Is it?" he asked. "You disappear into relationships. You don't argue. You don't push back. I don't like fighting." "Sometimes fighting means caring," he said. "You ever tell her no?" I leaned against the kitchen counter. "Love is patience. Love isn't self-erasing," Ethan said. I didn't answer. When I hung up, Ariana was on the couch scrolling through her phone. She looked up quickly, then locked the screen. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah," she said too fast. "Just work stuff." I nodded. I always nodded. I believe trust meant not asking twice. "Come sit," she said, patting the cushion. I sat beside her. She leaned into me, familiar and distant at the same time. "You're good to me," she said. "You know that?" I swallowed. "I try." "You don't try," she said. "You just are." That should have felt reassuring. Instead, it felt like a sentence. I went to shower. The water ran hot. I stared at the tiles and told myself I was lucky. People would kill for a calm relationship. No drama. No chaos. "You okay in there?" she called. "Yeah," I said. "Just thinking." She laughed. "You think too much." When I came out, she was in bed, phone in her hand again. "Who keeps texting this late?" I asked, forcing a smile. "Group chat," she said. "You wouldn't care." "Try me." She shrugged. "You're not really into that world." That word stuck. World. I lay beside her. She turned away, still typing. "Ari?" I said. Do you ever feel like we're drifting?" She sighed. "Why do you always ask heavy questions at night?" "I'm just checking." "We're fine," she said. "Don't ruin a good thing." I stared at the ceiling. I wanted to say I was scared. I wanted to say I felt replaceable. Instead, I said nothing. Minutes passed. Her phone buzzed again. Louder this time. She froze. "You're popular tonight," I said. She laughed nervously. "Guess so." Another buzz. Then another. My chest tightened. Not panic. Something colder. "Can you put that away?" I asked. "Why?" "So we can sleep." She hesitated, then set it face down. The screen lit up anyway. I didn't see the name. I didn't need to. She turned toward me. "You trust me, right?" I looked at her. 5 years of memories pressed behind my eyes. "Of course," I said. She smiled, relief flooding her face, and kissed my shoulder. I lay there listening to her breathe, listening to the phone vibrate softly against the mattress, and I felt something shift inside me. I didn't know what it was yet. I only knew it wasn't safe anymore. I waited until she fell asleep. Her breathing slowed, steady, trusting, and that trust burned my chest. "Can't sleep," she murmured. "Just water," I said. She turned over. "Love you." "Love you," I answered, and hated how easy it sounded. The phone was on the nightstand. Face down. I told myself to walk away. I didn't. I won't look, I whispered. I picked it up anyway. My hands shook. The screen lit my face. No lock. She trusted me. That made it worse. What are you doing? I asked myself. I opened the messages. I saw his name. Ryan. No, I said quietly. The thread opened. Words spilled out like a wound. Not pictures. Not anything I could dismiss. Just feelings. Jokes only they shared. Memories I wasn't part of. I miss you, she had written. My stomach dropped. You always say that, he replied. I scrolled. I can't talk like this, she said. He'd be crushed. He answered, you're still talking. I felt small. I felt stupid. She told me you were toxic, I whispered. My chest tightened as I read more. You understand me, she wrote to him. You always did. I remembered every time she said I was safe. Every time she said calm was what she needed. Safe, I said. Right. I kept scrolling. Promises wrapped in careful words. I don't know what I want, she wrote. He replied, you never did. I sat on the edge of the bed, phone heavy in my hand. I gave you everything, I whispered. I thought of every fight where she defended him. He hurt me, she had told me once. Then why protect him? I asked aloud. My head filled with old conversations. Why do you still talk to Ryan? I had asked months ago. He's nothing, she had said. Stop being insecure. Insecure. That word echoed now. I trusted you, I said silently. More messages loaded. Late nights. Inside jokes. Comfort. I can't lose you, she wrote to him. I felt my throat close. So what am I? I asked the empty room. My reflection stared back from the black screen. Pale. Broken. You made me believe I was enough, I thought. While keeping him close. I put the phone down. My heart raced. I wanted to wake her. I wanted to scream. Ariana, I almost said. She shifted in her sleep. Peaceful. I stood up. Walked to the bathroom. Locked the door. Think, I told myself. Think. Anger came, then shame. Am I stupid? I asked the mirror. I pictured her smiling at him through words meant to be harmless. You let me choose you, I whispered. While you chose both. Tears burned, but I didn't cry. I should leave, I said. I didn't. Instead, something cold settled in me. I won't say a word, I decided. I wiped my face. Unlocked the door. Slid back into bed. She rolled toward me. You okay? Yeah, I said. Just tired. She sighed and rested her head on my chest. My heart pounded against her ear. I'm right here, she murmured. I stared into the dark. I know, I thought. And I stayed silent. I listened to the clock tick. Each second felt loud. Are you sure? She asked softly. Yes, I said. She shifted closer. You're distant lately. I'm fine. You always say that, she said. I almost laughed. Talk to me, she whispered. What do you want me to say? I asked. Anything, she said. I swallowed. I love you. She relaxed. I know. Those words hurt more than silence. I lay awake thinking about choices. Confrontation or control. Truth or time. If I speak, I thought, everything ends. If I stay quiet, I learn who she really is. My phone buzzed on the dresser. Ethan's name flashed. I ignored it. This is my burden, I told myself. She slept. I counted breaths. 1, I thought. 2. I imagined tomorrow. Breakfast. Smiles. Lies. You're safe, I repeated in my head, mocking myself. Safety had blinded me. I promised myself one thing. I will not beg, I decided. If she wanted honesty, she would offer it. If she wanted me, she would choose me. Until then, would watch. I would listen. I would remember everything. Silence wrapped around me like armor. And somewhere beneath the hurt, something darker began to grow. I didn't know what that darkness meant yet. I only knew it felt steady. It felt patient. For the first time, I wasn't reacting. I was waiting. And waiting, I realized, could be its own kind of power. I closed my eyes, finally, and let the night hold my secret. Tomorrow would come. I would smile. I would stay. And nothing would ever feel simple again. This was the moment everything truly began. Inside. I decided silence wasn't weakness, it was curiosity. I wanted answers, not explosions. At breakfast, Ariana smiled like nothing was wrong. "Morning," she said. "Morning," I replied. "Sleep okay?" she asked. "Fine," I said. Every word felt rehearsed. Later, she kissed my cheek and left for work. The door closed, and I exhaled. This is my choice, I told myself. I wasn't staying because I was scared. I was staying because I needed truth. At lunch, I met Maya. She slid into the chair across from me. "You're Ariana's boyfriend, right?" "Yeah," I said. "She talks about you," Maya said. "What does she say?" "That you're safe," Maya said. I smiled. "Safe is good," I said. Maya hesitated. "She's different at work," Maya said. "How?" "She laughs more," she said. "With you?" "With everyone," Maya said. I stirred my coffee. "Does she talk about Ryan?" Maya blinked. "Oh," she said. "So she does," I thought. "He's complicated," Maya said. "That's one word," I said. "She says you wouldn't understand," Maya said. My jaw tightened. "What does she understand?" Maya shrugged. "Different sides of her," she said. I nodded. Two versions. At home, Ariana called me. "Hey," she said brightly. "How was work?" "Busy," she said. "Maya mentioned you," I said. A pause. "Oh," she said. "She says you're different there," I said. Ariana laughed. "Work me," she said. "And home you?" "Don't start," she said. "I'm just listening," I said. "You're acting strange," she said. "I'm thinking," I said. "About what?" "Us," I said. Silence. "I love you," she said. The words burned. "I love you too," I said. That lie tasted familiar. That night, I sat alone. "Leave," I told myself. "Expose her," I said. "Or wait," I whispered. Waiting meant power. Waiting meant pain. I checked her messages again. More smiles. More secrets. She lived two lives. I lived between them. When she came home, she hugged me. "You're quiet," she said. "I'm learning," I said. She frowned. "About what?" "About myself," I said. She kissed me, uncertain. I watched her eyes. She didn't know. I did. That knowledge changed everything. Silence wasn't empty. It was loaded. I chose to wait. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. "Why don't you ask?" I asked myself. "Because answers end games," I replied silently. My phone buzzed. It was Ethan. "Everything okay?" "Yeah," I said. "You sound flat," he said. "I'm thinking," I said. "Thinking gets you hurt," Ethan said. "Being blind hurts more," I said. He sighed. "Whatever you're doing," he said, "don't lose yourself." "I already did," I said. After the call, Ariana stepped out of the shower. "You're still up?" she asked. "Couldn't sleep," I said. She sat beside me. "You're drifting," she said. "Maybe I am," I said. "Did I do something?" she asked. I looked at her. You tell me, I said. Her eyes flickered. You're scaring me, she said. I'm scared too, I said. She reached for my hand. Talk to me, she said. I squeezed her fingers. Soon, I said. She nodded, unsatisfied. When she slept, I whispered, I see you. She didn't hear. I stared at the phone again. How far will you go? The question wasn't for her. It was for me. I could leave tomorrow. I could destroy everything. Or I could wait. Waiting meant truth. Waiting meant control. I chose to hold my breath. Morning came. She smiled again. Coffee? She asked. Yes, I said. I watched her move. 2 lives. 1 lie. 1 man who knew both. That man was me. I stayed silent. Silence sharpened everything. I wasn't weak. I was watching. And every second I waited, the truth grew heavier. I wondered which would break first. Her. Or me. But I already knew the answer. Silence had chosen for me. And I would see it through. Not out of love, but out of clarity. I had crossed into something colder. Something patient. Something sharp. And I wasn't going back. This wasn't revenge. It was observation. I was done asking. Done pleading. Done pretending. The waiting would end. I would speak. But not yet. For now, silence was mine. It wrapped around me like armor. Each quiet moment taught me something. About her. About myself. About how easily love turns into leverage. I inhaled. Exhaled. And stayed still. Because the longer I waited, the more control I felt. And control was the only thing I had left. I counted seconds. I counted lies. I counted my resolve. Silence held. I started noticing Ryan everywhere. Not in the room, but in the gaps between Ariana's words. Who are you texting? I asked one night. No one, she said. Why? You smile when you say that, I replied. She frowned. You're imagining things. I wasn't. I heard his name in her pauses. I saw him in the way she guarded her phone. Later, she stepped onto the balcony. Her voice dropped. I told you not to do this, she whispered. I stayed still. I can't just disappear, she said. You know that. The door slid shut. My chest burned. So this is Ryan, I thought. Not a villain. Not a savior. Just a man who pulled her back when life felt dull. At dinner, I tested her. Do you believe people really change? I asked. She froze. Why are you asking? Just curious. She pushed food around her plate. Some people don't want to. Or don't know how, I said. She looked at me carefully. You're different lately. I'm tired, I said. She didn't believe me. The next day, I met Liam. He sat across from me, older, quieter, scarred. You look hollow, he said. Feel worse, I replied. He stirred his drink. You still with her? Yes. Do you trust her? I hesitated. I trust myself. That's new, he said. I told him everything. Not details. Just the weight. She's talking to someone else, I said. Liam nodded. I lost my marriage that way. I know, I said. I chased answers, he said. Destroyed myself trying to expose her. What should I do? I asked. He leaned forward. Don't punish yourself for someone else's choices. What if waiting hurts? I asked. It will, he said. But exploding hurts longer. That night, I changed. Not loudly. Quietly. I stopped asking where she was going. Working late, she said. Okay, I replied. She blinked. That's it? Yes. She touched my arm. Are you mad? No. She pulled away, unsettled. Days passed. I didn't chase. I didn't explain. Aren't you going to ask? She said one morning. Ask what? I replied. About us. I met her eyes. If you have something to say, say it. Her breath caught. She called more. Texted more. Are you still in this? She asked. I'm here, I said. Not the same thing. She noticed the space. She felt it growing. Did someone say something to you? She asked. No. You're lying, she said. No, I replied. I'm listening. She stared like she didn't recognize me. Ryan was still there. I knew that. But so was fear. She couldn't control silence. Power shifted without a fight. One night, she cried. I don't want to lose you, she said. I said nothing. She waited for reassurance. It never came. For the first time, she was reaching. And I was standing still. I walked outside alone, phone in my pocket, hands shaking but steady. You planned this, I told myself. I didn't. I adapted. Ariana followed me later. Why are you acting like this? She asked. I stopped pretending, I said. Pretending what? That everything is fine. She crossed her arms. You're punishing me. I'm protecting myself, I said. She laughed nervously. From what? From lies, I replied. She stepped closer. Did you talk to someone? Yes, I said. Who? Someone who survived betrayal. Her face paled. You think I'm betraying you? She asked. I think you're undecided, I said. That's unfair, she said. So is silence, I replied. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I need time, she said. So do I answered. She whispered, there's nothing going on. I looked at her. Then why are you scared? She shook her head. You're changing. I have to, I said. She reached for me again. I stepped back. Please, she said. Not like this, I replied. She stared, helpless. That night, she stayed awake. So what happens now? She asked. Now I watch, I said. That's cruel, she said. No, I replied. It's honest. She turned away. I lay still, listening. Ryan existed in the distance. But for the first time, he wasn't the center. I was. I breathed slowly, counting consequences instead of apologies. This isn't over, I thought. It wasn't meant to be. I had stopped chasing clarity. Clarity was chasing me now. I stayed awake until morning. She never touched me again. That distance said everything. Power had shifted. I felt it settle. Cold. Certain. I wasn't angry. I was alert. And that awareness scared her more than rage ever could. I closed my eyes, knowing the waiting had already changed me. Whatever came next, I would face it awake. That was the difference now. I was no longer asleep inside my own life. And that truth felt dangerous. To everyone involved. Especially me. Always. I stopped chasing her, and the quiet scared her more than anger ever had. You're different, Ariana said one morning. I'm focused, I replied. On what? Work. Me. She frowned. Since when? Since I needed to breathe, I said. She laughed, sharp. You're pulling away. I'm standing still, I answered. That silence followed me everywhere. At work, I stayed late. You never leave early anymore, my manager said. I need structure, I replied. At the gym, my body burned, honest and simple. First time, a guy asked. First time choosing myself, I said. At night, Ariana paced. Are you mad at me? She asked. No. Then why won't you touch me? Because I'm tired, I said. She crossed her arms. You're lying. I'm surviving, I replied. Her eyes searched my face for cracks. Did I do something wrong? She asked. I almost told her. Almost. Instead, I said, if you think you did, that matters. She went quiet. Days passed like that. Talk to me, she said one night. I answered. That's not talking, she snapped. It's listening, I said. She slammed a drawer. You're punishing me. I'm healing, I replied. She stared like I'd betrayed her. I booked therapy after that. Dr. Harris sat across from me, calm and direct. Why are you here? He asked. I feel erased, I said. By who? Someone I love. He nodded. Describe the feeling. Like I was replaced before I was gone, I said. That's grief, he replied. I didn't lose her, I said. You lost your place, he said. That hit harder than anger. At home, Ariana noticed the change. You don't ask about my day anymore, she said. You talk about it anyway, I replied. That's not the same, she said. Neither is trust, I answered. Her voice shook. Are you seeing someone? No, I said. Then why does it feel like I'm losing you? Because you stopped choosing me, I said quietly. She froze. You don't get to say that, she whispered. I do, I replied. She cried that night. Not loud. Panicked. I don't want to be alone, she said. You aren't, I replied. Then prove it, she begged. I didn't move. That was the moment. She started checking my phone. Who's texting you? She asked. Ethan, I said. You smile now, she said. I remember who I am, I replied. She followed me room to room. Say something, she demanded. I already did, I said. At therapy, I said it out loud. She didn't just cheat, I said. She replaced you emotionally, Dr. Harris replied. I closed my eyes. That's it. At home, Ariana watched me pack gym clothes. Where are you going? She asked. To work on myself, I said. Without me? For now, I replied. Her fear filled the room. You're changing the rules, she said. No, I replied. I'm remembering them. She grabbed my arm. Don't leave me like this. I didn't, I said. You left first. She let go. That night, her phone stayed silent. So did mine. Karma didn't arrive loudly. It whispered. She needed reassurance. I needed peace. She waited. I didn't chase. And everything began to change. I didn't have to do anything for Ryan's life to start collapsing. It happened on its own, slowly, like rot spreading where no one wanted to look. Ariana, you're late, I said when she walked in. I know, she replied. Traffic. You okay? She hesitated. Work was weird. How so? She dropped her bag. People were whispering. About what? I asked. She rubbed her face. Ryan. I kept my voice steady. What about him? He lost his job, she said. Again. That's rough, I replied. She laughed without humor. That's one word. Over the next weeks, his name came up more. Not proudly. Not secretly. Just broken. He says everyone's against him, she told me one night. Are they? I asked. She shrugged. He keeps blaming people. I nodded. He always did. She looked at me sharply. You don't even know him. I know patterns, I said. Her phone buzzed less. When it did, she sighed instead of smiling. He says I don't support him enough, she muttered. What do you think? I asked. She didn't answer. One evening, she came home shaking. Her eyes were red. Her voice cracked. Do people ever really change? She asked. I felt the weight of every truth in my chest. What kind of change? I said. Real change, she whispered. Or do they just pretend until it's convenient? I swallowed. Why are you asking me? She sat beside me. Because I don't know what's real anymore. Neither do I thought. But I stayed quiet. He's not who I thought he was, she said. I looked at the wall. People reveal themselves eventually. She started crying then. Not dramatic. Just tired. I tried to help him, she said. I defended him. You did, I replied. And now everyone knows what he's like, she said. I feel stupid. I said nothing. Silence did the work words couldn't. Days later, she paced the kitchen. He's being investigated, she said. Some complaint from work. That's serious, I replied. He says it's lies, she said. Does he? I asked. She stopped pacing. You think he's lying? I think consequences don't appear out of nowhere, I said. She stared at me, searching for judgment. She found none. You're not happy about this? She asked. No, I replied. I'm not involved. That confused her. I watched her slowly detach, not because I pushed, but because reality pulled. He wants me to talk to his manager, she said one night. Will you? I asked. I can't, she said. I'm tired. Tired of what? I asked. Tired of saving him, she said. I felt something close to relief, but I didn't show it. Her loyalty drained. His chaos stayed. She came home late again. Sat on the floor. He yelled at me, she said. I stayed silent. He said I abandoned him, she whispered. I thought, you abandoned me first. But I said nothing. Why aren't you saying anything? She asked. Because you're hearing yourself, I replied. She looked up. Am I a bad person? I chose my words carefully. I think you ignored warnings. Tears fell. I didn't want to believe them. I know, I said. Ryan stopped being a temptation. He became a burden. He keeps calling, she said. I don't answer. That's your choice, I replied. She watched me closely. Why aren't you angry? Because anger would mean I care about him, I said. She flinched. One night, she finally asked, did you ever want revenge? I met her eyes. No. Why not? Because watching truth surface is enough, I said. She nodded slowly. The cost of betrayal showed itself quietly. Not in explosions. In exhaustion. In regret. She saw him clearly now. And that clarity hurt more than hate. I didn't celebrate. I didn't comfort. I stayed present. Restraint felt stronger than revenge ever could. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I made a mess. Yes, I said. She waited for reassurance. It didn't come. I don't know how to fix this, she whispered. I know, I replied. She sat up suddenly. What if I cut him off completely? That's your decision, I said. But what if he ruins himself, she asked. He's already doing that, I replied. She hugged her knees. I feel responsible. You're responsible for your choices, I said. Not his reactions. She nodded, slowly accepting it. My friends stopped inviting me out, she said. They don't trust my judgment. That happens, I replied. She laughed bitterly. I defended the wrong person. Yes, I said. She looked at me again. Why do you still stay? I answered honestly. Because I'm watching who you become. That scared her. If I choose wrong again, she asked. Then I'll choose differently, I replied. The room went quiet. She whispered, you're not afraid to lose me anymore. I said, I'm afraid of losing myself. That ended the conversation. She went to bed alone that night. I stayed awake, unreactive. Ryan faded into background noise. Consequences grew louder. I knew it was coming the moment she asked me to sit down. Her hands were shaking. Her voice wasn't steady anymore. Please don't interrupt, Ariana said. Just listen. I'm listening, I replied. She swallowed. There's something I need to tell you. I nodded. Okay. She stared at the floor. I messed up. I waited. I talked to Ryan, she said. For longer than I should have. I stayed quiet. It wasn't serious, she rushed. Not like that. I asked calmly, how long? She hesitated. On and off. That's not an answer, I said. She exhaled sharply. Months. Which months? I asked. Her eyes lifted, startled. Why does that matter? Because truth has a timeline, I said. She pressed her lips together. Since last year. I nodded slowly. And what did you talk about? Nothing bad, she said quickly. Just feelings. Old stuff. Did you hide it? I asked. Yes, she whispered. Did you lie when I asked? I said. She looked away. Yes. I folded my hands. Keep going. She frowned. You're being too calm. I told you I'd listen, I said. She took a breath. I was confused. I didn't want to lose you. You didn't want to lose him either, I replied. That's not fair, she snapped. Then explain it, I said. She rubbed her arms. He needed me. And I didn't? I asked. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I never meant to hurt you, she said. I believe that, I replied. But intention isn't honesty. She looked at me sharply. Aren't you angry? No, I said. That scares me, she whispered. Good, I replied. She shifted closer. I'm telling you now because I want to fix this. Fix what? I asked. Us, she said. I want forgiveness. For what exactly? I asked. She frowned. For lying. And? I said. For crossing a line, she added. Which line? I asked. Her voice cracked. Why are you doing this? Because you're editing the truth, I replied. Tears filled her eyes. I told you what matters. You told me what you think I can forgive, I said. She stood up. I came clean. No, I said quietly. You came partial. She stared at me. You don't get to decide that. I do, I replied. It's my trust. She paced. I was lonely. So was I said. She stopped. You're acting like you already knew. I met her eyes. Does that change what you did? Her breath caught. You went through my phone, she accused. I'm asking about your choices, I said. Silence stretched between us. Say something, she demanded. I replied. I'm letting you hear yourself. She laughed nervously. You're punishing me. No, I said. I'm not rescuing you. She shook her head. I want us back. Which version? I asked. The good one, she said. The one where I didn't know? I replied. She sat down hard. What do you want from me? Honesty, I said. Or distance? Her eyes widened. That's it? Yes, I replied. No second chances, she asked. I didn't say that, I said. I said truth. She wiped her face. Ryan meant nothing. Then why protect him? I asked. She opened her mouth. Closed it. I didn't think you'd change like this, she said. I didn't think you'd lie like that, I replied. She whispered, I was afraid. So was I said. She leaned forward. I love you. I answered evenly. Love doesn't ask me to shrink. She recoiled. You're not fighting for us. I fought quietly, I said. Now I'm choosing clarity. She stared at me like I was a stranger. If I tell you everything, she said, will you stay? I paused. If you tell me everything, I'll decide. Her shoulders slumped. That's not fair, she whispered. Neither was living in a lie, I replied. She nodded slowly, realizing something had shifted. You don't need me anymore, she said. I need truth, I answered. Whether you're in it or not. She covered her face. I didn't expect this. I did, I said. She looked up, broken. When did you stop needing me? I thought carefully. When I stopped needing lies to feel chosen. The room felt heavier after that. She whispered, I don't know who you are. I finally do, I replied. She stood there, unsure, exposed. I stayed seated, steady. That was the moment she understood. I wasn't begging. I wasn't bargaining. I was done pretending. I said, I'm leaving. She said, you can't just say that. I said, I already did. She said, after everything we've been through? I said, that's exactly why. She moved closer and said, please don't do this. I said, I'm not doing anything to you. She said, you're giving up on us. I said, I stopped giving up on myself. She whispered, I'll change. I said, you always say that. She said, this time is different. I said, it's only different because I am. She grabbed my sleeve and said, look at me. I said, I am. She said, then how can you walk away? I said, because I finally see clearly. My chest felt steady, not angry, not numb. She said, I love you. I said, love doesn't need lies to survive. She said, I was scared. I said, so was I. She said, I didn't mean to hurt you. I said, intent doesn't erase impact. She said, why are you so calm? I said, because I already did my crying. She sat down and said, where will you go? I said, somewhere peaceful. She said, is there someone else? I said, there's finally me. She laughed through tears and said, you sound like a stranger. I said, no, I sound like someone who healed. She said, you're acting superior. I said, I'm acting honest. She asked, so that's it? I said, unless honesty suddenly matters. She said, I can tell you everything. I said, I don't need fragments anymore. Silence filled the room. She said, I don't recognize you. I said, that's because you were used to my silence. Later at work, Noah said, you look lighter today. I said, I set something heavy down. He said, that usually means you chose yourself. I said, for the first time. He said, leaving isn't weakness. I said, I used to think staying was strength. He said, staying broken isn't loyalty. I said, I'm learning that. He asked, do you feel guilty? I said, only for how long I stayed. He said, that passes. I said, I hope so. He smiled and said, you know your worth now. I said, I'm starting to. He said, that changes everything. I said, it already has. When I got home, she said, you didn't text. I said, I was busy. She said, with him? I said, with clarity. She said, I can't sleep without you. I said, I couldn't breathe with you. She said, that's not fair. I said, neither was replacing me emotionally. She froze and said, you knew? I said, I always did. She said, then why didn't you stop me? I said, because consequences teach better than control. She cried and said, say something. I said, I wish you healing. She said, that's it? I said, that's all I have left. I packed quietly. She said, if you leave, don't come back. I said, I wasn't planning to. At the door she said, you'll regret this. I said, I already regret staying too long. She said, I hate you. I said, I forgive you. I stepped outside. My phone buzzed. Noah texted, you good? I replied, I'm free. I didn't look back. Not because it didn't hurt. But because I finally understood my value. You want to know what betrayal taught me about love? Sit with me a second. I promise I won't preach, just tell you what I learned. I can't believe you stayed that long, a friend said once. I didn't realize I was staying, I told him. Not really. I was surviving. Surviving? He asked. Yes, I said. Surviving while letting myself vanish. That's the lesson I needed. I don't know if Ariana ever healed. I don't check. That's the real closure. You're sure you're okay? Someone else asked me. I am, I said. Better than okay. Awake. She thought she could pull me back with apologies, with fragments of honesty. You'll come back, she said in my mind sometimes. No, I replied silently. I won't. I can't. The silence taught me more than any fight. You're cold, she whispered once. I'm clear, I said. Clarity isn't cruelty. I spent months rebuilding myself. Work, health, confidence, nothing to impress her, everything to survive me. Noah gets it, I said aloud once. He never tried to fix me. He just showed me I was worth keeping. Sometimes I still hear Ryan's name, but it doesn't hurt. It's distant, a reminder of what I refuse to become. You forgive him? Someone asked. I don't know, I said. I forgive the lessons, not the betrayal. I learned that love isn't staying when it costs your soul. Love is honesty. Love is choosing yourself when they won't. Do you regret it? The question always comes. No, I say. Regret would mean I stayed blind. I didn't. I woke up. And in waking, I saw who I could be. Stronger. Steadier. Alive in ways I hadn't been allowed before. I miss her, sometimes I whisper to myself. Yes, I admit. But missing her doesn't mean losing me again. I don't know if she learned anything. I don't care. I only care that I did. That I saw the truth and chose it. You think this is revenge? Someone asks. No, I say. Revenge is petty. The strongest revenge is being someone they can never reach again. And I finally am. I walk forward without looking back, without waiting for apologies, without needing validation. I carry the lessons, not the pain. I carry myself, not her choices. I am awake. I am whole. I am finally free. Sometimes the strongest revenge is becoming someone they can never reach again.